Now I'm going to show you how to use lettering on a form. Like say you've got this can of black beans or something like that. Any kind of surface where it's curved or arched or maybe it's a wavy, whatever, and you got letters on it. Got to remember this is sort of like a pattern. It's going to work with the form. So for this, I'm going to use a ruler for my can just real quickly here. Lightly drawing him out. Kind of large so you can see him a bit. There we go. And I'm going to put in the top of my ellipse. This is important. See, my ellipse is going to be like this. Make that a little darker so you guys can see it. And the bottom's going to be the same. Does that make sense? This arc must match this one. Let's get it right then. So get your can all arced up and kind of ready to go like you want it, all right? Get out some of those extraneous lines here, be less messy. And this needs to be, it's still not right, it's still not quite arched enough for my taste. There we go, that's a little bit better. A little bit more matching of what we got going on here in the front. Front and top and bottom all kind of have to go together, all right? See how this arch matches this one. All right. Now that you've got this, I'm going to lay in the lines, just sort of the guidelines lightly for my black beans. I'm going to match this arch, so I'm going to put it right here, lightly. There we go. And there's the bottom half. Let's say it's sort of real close underneath there. Now you may decide to use a, what do you call it? A ruler, oh duh, okay, this thing, the ruler, and just literally start measuring out your black beans, letters, or you may decide to do the old school method and actually kind of put your letters on and then alter them to match the arch. So I'm going to go ahead and try a little of that. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to do it old school. It's harder that way. So I'm going to put my edge of my B there. And I'm going to put the next frontal edge here, let's say. And you may want to measure out, oh, come on, pencil, make a mark. You may want to measure out how far apart you want your letters to be and things like that. There we go. Okay. And notice the top of the arch also has to go that way too. It has to move with the arch. These are just guidelines. You'll erase those out later. It'd be nice if I had a pencil with some mark making materials. There we go. That's enough of that pencil. Goodbye. Okay. So let's get my first B in. I'm going to go ahead and draw that first straight line there. Lightly. And then I'm going to draw down the middle here. I'm just going to eyeball it. And then down the middle here. There we go. Now we're going to even them up a little bit. And notice how everything's beginning to work in concert. We got a little dealy in here. There we go. And you just simply erase out and then make adjustments. This seems a little fat over here to me, so I'm going to move this line back just a bit. There we go. That's better. I'm just going to do it this way. It's just easier for me not to use the down ruler anymore. There we go. There you go. You see how that works? Now you've got your B working in concert with your can. And you erase out the lines and work over it in whatever material you want. I'm going to go ahead and put in the L real quick since that's a pretty easy one. And on this gem, it's about that far away, so I'm going to do this. Here's one. And I made that about that big. It's just easier just to eyeball it too. And then I'm going to make this, it's going to arch too slightly. This is going to follow, this is going to follow that at the bottom, and then end it where I want it. There it is. L. And you can adjust it and work with it the way you want to. This works with any font type, okay? And if you need to, and you got a real fancy font type, then go ahead and use a printout and then trace it down first. Let's say, let's put the B below here. But it's going to take more fiddling that way. You're going to have to kind of, that'll help you see how that already puts it the spacing wise in front of me. Does that make sense? There you go. You can do it that way too. All right? We're using the old school transfer method, putting the graphite on the back end. Okay? Let's move this down a bit. There we go. Now we're working better. But everything works in combination with the arches, and that way the letters move with the form. Remember, that's your graphite. You know, put the graphite in the back and trace over. Okay? Good luck with it.